Emergency planning is important for somebody with a disability, especially if you have a mobility disability or a visual impairment or even a hearing deficit. You may not be tuned into the same sort of alarms that are happening around you. Beyond that, once you recognize there is an emergency, you may have challenges going to a congregation area. You may have challenges if you're, say, for example, if you use a wheelchair and you're up on a second or third floor, now you need to find a way down. The elevators would shut off if it were a fire. So you need to sort of have a plan in place on what needs to happen with you. Everybody with a disability has different needs, so it's important to work out a very individual plan.
Well, to make sure that you provide proper education for them. Because people with disabilities want to be safe, the same as the general public does.
Preferably, there'd be some level of familiarity between the person providing the assistance and the person with the disability. If that's not the case, if it's just sort of, a spur of the moment thing, then obviously you would keep in mind things like communication. They might have a speech difficulty and they might use assistive devices to communicate, so sort of being aware of that. And then of course, if they do have some mobility impairment, what are their needs? Do they use a wheelchair? Can they get out of the wheelchair? If not, what are their needs? And important in those cases to ask what they need. Like I said, if there's no familiarity, if a plan hasn't already been developed, then it would be important to sort of ask the person what they need to get them to a safe place.
Well, there can be quite a few. For a person who's deaf because we can't hear, it's letting us know that there is that emergency. For example, having things like visual alarms, because we are more visually acute, so we need some sort of lighting alerting system. So fire alarms that do have the flashing strobe lights with them. When we see that, then we know that there's an emergency going, we need to leave.
Obviously, as in any emergency, not to panic and not to sort of jump to conclusions. You wouldn't want to go approach somebody, for example, who, maybe they have an assistive animal and, you go up and just, oh, well, here, I'll take the dog and then I'll eat. Like, you shouldn't make any assumptions. You should always ask the person what they need to have done in order to get them to safety. Same with wheelchair or any other device. I mean, don't just assume, well, here, I'll just, pick you up out of your chair and I'll carry you to safety. I mean, those would be things that wouldn't be recommended. Not only could you endanger the person you're helping, but of course you could put yourself in danger. So.